How you doing? This is BK for manfowars.com, and it's currently 4:49 p.m. on Wednesday, March 25th, 2020 in downtown Toronto, Canada. There you go. Oops. 4:50 p.m. and I'm currently at 40 College Street, just west of Yonge and College, at Toronto Police Services headquarters, and I'm hanging out with my buddy here, or budette, hard to tell, I'll explain that in a sec, and I'm promoting polite patriotism to help nice ladies and gents teach kids to be offline, and to help us look, talk, and feel great, and to help us locally discuss and share great info we find online, offline, right? And instead of people making each other uncomfortable and quiet and all doing the same thing and not being able to hear anything different, being scared, don't say that, don't discuss it, whatever, and then we all have to be the same. And you can't think if you can't hear different things and think about them, right? And that's a real problem, especially today, right now, where we're dealing with the coronavirus crisis, possible martial law, possible depression. We have to worry about the virus, being careful when it comes to the virus, and we have to worry about the possibility of governments being stupid and screwing us, because this virus means they can, and the concern and the panic around it, right? So so we have to be concerned about all these things. Right now, this vlog is called Corona Crisis. Chance for men to save polite Canadians who save Canada? Corona Crisis. Chance for men to save polite Canadians who save Canada? That's what this vlog is called, right? And you can see a link below to it. It's a little 1-minute clip, but I bring up the sort of Brad Pitt from Fight Club scene, the middle children of history scene. You look it up on YouTube, you can find it, or you can see the link below. And he says, you know, we're the middle children of history, man. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives. And he goes on saying there's some great guys here who can do a lot more than act like a miserable bitch at work, and they, you know, but they're in a basement with other guys who can respect each other, don't have to act sketchy, make each other uncomfortable. So they can, hey, you can stand up straight, shoulders back, chest out, head up. Yeah, what's going on? I'm not worried about you doing something. I'm not gonna do something to you. Just, yep, what's up, right? And so, but at this point, you know, he says, oh, we all grew up thinking we're gonna be movie gods and rock stars, but we won't, and we're very pissed off. Yeah, right? And so, so this is a great time for men to save polite Canadians who save Canada, right? Not polite Canadians who say, don't talk about that, don't do, or make it hard to talk, right? But polite Canadians who respect each other and don't bother each other, don't make it hard to talk, and then from there, look, talk, and feel great about fun and serious stuff, like what's going on right now, right? Then you won't have these issues. So, what I'll do before I get into that is I'll explain who my friend here is, right? My friend here is somebody I've known for a while, seen a few times. A lot of people have kind of seen him or her, but don't know who they are, right? So what I'll do right now quickly is I will show you kind of who they are, and then you can see why we have to save polite Canadians, because the opposite of polite Canadians is something like this, right? Says about as much. We're all supposed to hear the same things, think the same things, say the same things, do the same things, so why bother talking? So we're just quiet and sort of haunted and uncomfortable near each other, just like my friend here, right? So what I'll do is I'll show you where I am, and I'll show you who this is, and then we'll get back to can we use this Corona crisis? Can men use this Corona crisis? Can men use this chance for men to save polite Canadians who save Canada? Excuse me. So I'll pull back and I'll show you. So this is Toronto Police Services headquarters, home of Toronto's finest, right? That's College Street. To the right is Bay, to the left or east is Yonge, and this is a pyramid. That's what my friend there was working on, a pyramid, right? So that's weird. Why would there be a pyramid in front of Toronto Police Services headquarters? Well, a few people ask. So the people that put it there go, well, nobody knows, or nobody cares, or maybe they're scared, you know, so we win, right? And so this is one of 3 Masonic statues here at Toronto Police Services headquarters, right? There's one on the north corner there, just all the way past that building, that has a man with bricks on one shoulder and books on another shoulder. Kind of cool. Bricks, construction, books, smart, right? Physical plus smart, so that's cool. On that corner, there's a little boy pulling a trolley with a giant obelisk, like the Washington Monument, except with a pyramid on top, right? So it's like the Washington Monument, basically a giant Masonic kind of pyramid tower, right? And little boys, that's a little weird. And then you got this one, which is also a little weird. This is right in front of Toronto Police Service's headquarters here at 40 College Street. And we'll take a closer look, and this is a hermaphrodite police officer finishing off a statue, or finishing off a pyramid, right? Or hermaphrodite. And what do I mean by hermaphrodite? I mean, look, people can all be built different ways, but if you were going to make a statue of a police officer, then you'd probably make him look more like Superman or Batman than half man, half woman, right? But let's take a closer look, and I'll explain to you how this is more half man, half woman than Batman, right? So there's the pyramid. Looks like it's almost done. Let's see how close we are. Oh, just a couple of bricks left. Canadians should have a referendum on, whatever the hell this plan is, or at least parts of it, and get to vote on it. If this is happening without our knowledge or consent in our country, then we should really be focused on figuring it out, right? So, okay, so this is where the pyramid stage is. Now here is a trowel, a very small hand, very slim arms, very tiny, slim shoulders, right? My shoulder's bigger than this dude's. This is a cop statue, right? And slim torso, right? Then you get down to the slim torso, no boobs, but you could put them there. And then you got thick, bubbly legs and butt, right? So it could be a CrossFit chick, could be a guy, it could be whatever. And certainly people are built like this, but why make this statue, right? So there's the slim upper body, thick, bubbly legs and butt, sort of girl, sort of guy. Then you get closer, and you see the longish hair all the way to the collar. You see that? That's not exactly professional to have a big tuft of longish hair that goes past the friggin' back of your collar. There's longish sideburns. There is the haunted, quiet face, right? And then you go forward. It's sort of not exactly a manly pose, but it's supposed to be maybe a guy, maybe a girl, sticking the butt out, leaning forward, finishing off the pyramid, a couple of bricks. And there we are. So, there is a great chance for polite Canadians, or for men, the corona crisis is a chance for men to save polite Canadians who save Canada, right? Because otherwise, we turn into my friend here. Not good at being a man. Hey, put up with me. It's a little weird. I don't know how to be straight up and cool with you. I could be a woman. I'm not really pleasant to be near. I don't put us in a better mood. Just put up with it anyway. And then kids copy that. And then we turn to the same quiet, haunted, sketchy creature that you see here, right? Sort of compliant corporate clothes. And there's ways that's being done. But before I get into that, I'd like to talk about some good news, right? Just to make sure we have some good news. The good news is this crisis has made people more determined to be nice to each other than before, right? More determined to be nice to each other than before, right? Everything's going well. You can be kind of selfish and narcissistic and annoying, whatever, right? But in a crisis, people may need each other more, so they feel like being nice to each other more, right? It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. I might need you, right? It's supposed to everything's fine. Screw you, right? So this is a great chance, right? And this is not just my own analysis, right? My own analysis includes playing basketball with a guy recently. Never met him before. I was shooting on one basket. He's shooting on the other basket. And then as I was leaving, I just, we didn't bother each other. So, we acknowledged each other when I saw him there, cool, let each other, shoot hoops, headphones in, whatever. And then as I was leaving, right, because we didn't bother each other, I was like, hey man, you want to play a little one-on-one before I go? And he goes, all right, sure, man. Neither of us are in kind of basketball season shape yet, so we didn't want to go too hard. But, we played against each other, some casual one-on-one for a few games, and then and we got along great. We were talking, joking, we were laughing about what's going on. I was joking. He was a little bit better than I am, certainly, on the day we played. And objectively, give me a couple months to get in better, not winter shape, and sort of wartime measure shape. Because before this, it was like, everyone agrees with this, but you can't bother them about it, and they don't want to do much about it. But now in the crisis, they certainly do. So it's time to get back into wartime measures mode, you know, like get back into, okay, this is great, right? As opposed to, hey, do you want to be polite Canadians, nice to each other? Ha, you so silly, put up with me, run away, right? It's, never mind. So, but now, many of them really do. So, so me and this guy were playing basketball, and a couple other guys were just sitting there watching us like, huh? Look at those guys. Look at those guys, like, getting along with each other, respecting each other, communicating well, joking around, not lying, looking each other in the eye. Look at those guys. Man, that is wild. That is wild stuff, right? And so, you know, guys looking like that, right? So I finished playing basketball, went to the Dollarama, right? Other people outside, cool. Even some homeless people, cool, right? They know they need people too, so they're like, hey man, I could just be a mess near you, but screw that. How's it going? Don't forget about me. Don't have that much going on, right? And so, so they're cool. Get inside the Dollarama, security's cool. A couple of people sketchy, whatever, just doing their sketchy thing. Get to the cashier, cashier's cool, right? And so on. So, and then I go near my neighborhood, chilling out, get some sun, trying to boost my immune system, social distancing, staying away from people, not going out too much, you know, just your allotted solitary confinement, prisonplanet.com, hour or so, whatever. And so I was hanging out and I was pontificating, and so many people were super nice. So many guys straight up cool, right? They were like, I'm not sure what you're gonna do. I'm like, man, you just heard me. Like, all right, cool, no problem, man. What's up, cool, right? And girls, you know, were like, you know, saying what's up, or they were cute, right? They were like whatever little bit of cute left, you know, with nobody around, not many people around to bother them in case they act cute and somebody gets jealous and tries to force you to see them look sketchy like somebody who's attractive, right? So it was great. So my own personal experience been great very recently, right? As this drags on and people need each other more. And the ways to be polite are not like my gender equal, gender neutral friend here, right? They are like masculine and feminine ladies and gentlemen, right? Guys straight up, cool, don't bother each other, keep it moving. Girls same, or instead of eye contact, they can have shy contact. Just, you know, care more about their don't care and relax and be more attractive near you. Smile, notice, whatever, keep it moving, better mood, whatever, right? I mean, men, basically all we have to do is make sure we're cool, other people are cool, and where we are or where we live is cool. That's it, right? That's all we have to do. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter, right? You'll have enough respect, you'll show and get enough respect, you'll be cool, you can do whatever the hell you want. Everything else is a bonus or a pain in the ass, right? That's all, right? And then women, all they have to do is put us in a good mood and make babies. That's it. Otherwise, they can do whatever the hell else they want. Some of it's a bonus, some of it's a pain in the ass. But if you generally respect each other and communicate well and nice to each other, then it doesn't matter, right? If I drag her to a baseball game and she goes, right, she doesn't like it, boring or something like that, yeah, she's like, you know, whatever. At least we're nice to each other, we're cool, we respect each other, no big deal, right? And I'll put us in a good mood while we're there, right? And if she drags me shopping to like Bed Bath & Beyond or something and says we've got to look at 400 different towels and 600 different, you know, sets of china that we're never going to use unless the Queen visits, you know, it's like, it's going to be boring. But it's okay. It'll be all good. Puts me in a good mood, and I'll crack some jokes with the salesperson. I'll be like, oh, is this frou-frou enough? Is this pillow frou-frou enough? I want the neighbors to come over, and when they see this pillow, they go, wow, that is frou-frou, right? Just go for it. It's fine. No big deal, right? That's all we have to do, right? Men want to feel useful and women want to feel special, and this gender equal and neutral is not it. You have to be more gender responsible, right? I know myself as a big, strong, badass dude. Average height, average weight, average build. 5'10", 165 to 175 pounds, depending on if it's the winter or the summer. And you know, so I know that I can mess somebody up. So I gotta be cool, right? So I can mess somebody up with what I say, what I do, how I act, so I gotta be cool. Now, if you gotta snap, you gotta snap. But being cool is snapping when you have to snap and then getting back to being cool, right? That's being cool, right? Sometimes you gotta go hard to feel soft. You gotta go hard to feel soft, right? You know the old hard to feel soft, right? You can interpret that however you want to, sex if you want, kind of a funny one, but also working out. Sometimes people are like, I don't feel right if I don't get my workout in, get my morning run, get my morning this. If I don't do that, get all that energy out, and just a mess all day. So, well, it's the same thing mentally, right? You gotta take some stuff seriously to make sure you can be really nice and really cool, right? There's lots of great examples, but somebody like Tupac, for example, right? He'd be out there yelling "Thug Life," blah blah blah, and then he'd be the nicest guy ever. And so, dear mama, don't cry, your baby boy's doing good, keep your head up, girl. It's like that's the musical versions, right? But everybody's got that in them, right? If they do that, if men don't fight, men don't stand for something, they fall for anything, including being turned into this. And then, if men are turned into this, there's not much other men can do with them, and there's not much women and children can do with them, except do this too. So that's how we turn into commie zombies or compliant corporate clones. We're quiet and easy to control, and one of the reasons we were softened up is for something like this, right? You'll have people like Alex Jones, for example, at Infowars.com, been yelling at the man for 25 years, right? He's our big brother against big brother. You fight with your big brother once in a while, he'll at least help you man up, right? You don't have to agree all the time. But and that's what he's doing. He's like, God damn it, they're gonna use a pandemic to bring in martial law. And you're like, you're crazy. It's like, well, what's this? Right? So here we are. And so you need to be able to at least hear that and understand it, especially as a man, right? As a man, you have to do that more. Women should be able to be confident and capable as well, but there is a masculine and feminine double standard, right? And if you treat everyone the same, hey bro, nice purse. Hey bro, nice ass. Hey bro, hey man, wow, you look hot. It's like, what the hell's that, right? Like you have to save lady and gentleman stuff, otherwise you won't see it. And that's what we're seeing today. And that's the lack of respect that people show and get, and that contributes to how much trouble they have communicating and how bad they feel and how little they can talk about it when they don't respect each other, right? We feel bad, people, can talk to each other. If they just make each other uncomfortable, they can't, right? Neighbor just asked me if I had a thermometer today, said no, asked him as I was leaving the house just now, and asked him, are you okay, whatever, and we're cool now. The crisis in particular. Before the crisis, it was like a little bit, whatever, gotta act sketchy there at work, we have to practice at home, whatever, so like it was a little bit weird, but now we're totally cool. Now dude's cool. I was like, hey man, you need anything, give me a call, let me know. He's like, totally cool, man. It's like, fine, we're great, we're good. Before that, we weren't for a long time. Not uncool, because I don't bother people, typically, right? I can't say I never have, but I don't bother people typically. So even if people bother me, right, I don't, and they're not making any sense, can't explain why or whatever, or maybe they'll act more bitchy if you talk to them, if they're acting bitchy and sketchy, so why bother, right? It's hard to trust people unless you're sure they're not trying to lie to you. But when they're getting worked up and forcing you to put up with them, and you can't talk about it, that's essentially lying to you, right? Like, yeah, get away with this, get away with that. Ooh, you sell your mouth. Oh, can't say anything. Ooh, your mouth. Ooh, weird, eh? Oh, I play with my hair. Oh, get worked up. Look at my body. Look at my butt. Run past. Oh, did I get away with that? Right? And it's hard to do anything, right? So this is a great chance for this corona crisis is a chance for men to save polite Canadians who can save Canada, right? Because that's super important. Now, what I'll do is I'm going to get to you. I'm going to read. Oh yeah, I was also talking to a couple of Red Pills versus Blue Balls buddies who were also saying that they noticed a lot of people were being a lot nicer than usual, right? There's still a few examples, there's still a few exceptions, right? The social distancing, instead of the zombieing near people who aren't going to like it and making them put up with you, is actually a really polite Canadian thing to do. Shit, we did that before the pandemic, until the zombie apocalypse, right? Until the zombie apocalypse, sort of creation where people getting more of the same, unable to communicate well, and then forcing people to put up with them when it comes to people they know, making it hard to do anything with them, and then running around trying to bother strangers with the same shit they pissed each other off doing, right? So here at 5:09 p.m. Wednesday, March 25th, I'm going to read to you, because it might be a little quicker, sorry if you don't like the reading, but I'm going to read to you a recent text I had with a liberal. And I was a liberal years ago when I was young, but the difference between liberals when I was young and liberals today is when I was young, liberals weren't people who were like don't talk to anybody who disagrees. They weren't like that, right? They were like, so what? It's not what I feel, how you feel, go ahead. You know, we'll joke. I've picked on conservatives when I was a liberal back in the day, and I've had conservatives argue with me. It's fine, right? These days, the sort of modern liberal is very different. It's don't talk to people you disagree with, don't let anybody talk, right? And then when they can't talk to people they disagree with, then they can't talk to each other, because what if they disagree? What if they make each other uncomfortable? Plus, if they all think and hear and have to say and do the same things, what's the point of talking? When you already know, right? I can't say anything different. Anybody says anything different is a Nazi, racist, phobic, sexist. Maybe not really, but we won't let them explain. And we'll make sure nobody can do anything else except be the same, which is this. That's the mass zombiosis, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and hide any sort of personal information, but I got a text from a friend. He says here, you are like so-and-so, a strong conservative Republican. Social media gives a lot of partisan or distorted news also. Let us not get into that discussion, right? And this is basically about health tips for the coronavirus, the possibility of chloroquine, an old safe drug that's been proven clinically in a few different countries to be effective and safe, right? You know, and it's like, nope. The Canadian government, TV, media says we have to all be scared and worried, and all we can do is wash our hands and stay away from each other, and there's no hope. We have to be inside for 18 months, even though China just got back to work after 30 days, and they'll make everything for us, take all our money, we'll hyperinflate, we'll go into a depression, and they'll take over, right? Plus, South America and Africa don't give a shit about COVID-19. Why? Right? So these are important things. But if you can't talk to people you disagree with, and you can't talk to each other, because everyone has to hear, think, say, and do the same things, and you won't let anyone else do anything different, that's the mass zombiosis here. And that's the exact opposite of world-famous, nice, polite Canadians. And it doesn't allow you to think, because if you can't hear anything different, then you can't think, right? And I explained some of that here. So says, let's not get into that discussion, right? And I was like, you know, because I mentioned something about, you know, no problem. I never just say, believe me. I say, just look at what I believe, see if it makes sense. And if not, please tell me, so I stop believing it and make sense too. Or you can start. It's that simple, right? You're like, you know, what are you talking about? Experts said this. Yeah, experts who question experts said that. And they make a lot more sense than just wash your hands and stay away from people. There's a lot more you can do about the flu. Vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, tonic water, right? That gin and tonics. That's how the British Empire took over the world. They drank gin and tonics. Then they went to Africa and malaria. Malaria was there. They're like gin and tonic, and the tonic has stuff in it that kills that stuff, right? So not as many died, right? Or limes. They used to put limes in their rum and cokes. You can look all that stuff up if you want. They used to put limes in their rum and cokes, right? And that's where the term limey came from, right? So the Dutch or the Portuguese Empire or whatever would be like, you know, stupid limeys. Look at those people always eating. Guess what? They lost. The British Empire conquered the world. The sun never set in the British Empire. Why? Gin and tonics, rum and cokes with limes, or rum with lime, right? Not cokes back then. Anyway, so I'm not saying it's the end of the world. It's going to cure everything. I'm just saying there's things you can talk about that are helpful if you can. If you A, respect each other, like nice ladies and gents teaching kids to be offline, and B, if you are not someone who's like, nope, don't talk to anyone who doesn't agree with me, and then no, can't, right? Because before, people used to be confident in whatever they believed, right? So, that's sort of an over whatever. So, it says here, I text my friend back. I see it here. Also, just to explain why he, I, and others can find this frustrating, but understand and persevere, consider this. The big difference between the modern, quote, left and, quote, right is that liberals can't talk to people they disagree with and then can't talk much to each other and get quiet and easy to control. If you can't even hear any other ideas at all, then you get stuck with any garbage you're given, like, quote, trans kids, quote, open borders, and more junk bad for everyone. You're not just screwing yourself, you're screwing where you live. If you can't, won't let anybody else talk or do anything, be nice to each other, communicate well. Anybody saying, doing anything different has to be ignored or stopped or turned into the same thing as you, right? So, And, so I go on in this text. I say, this is why liberals are now taught to say, let's not talk about it, right? For example, you're going to go home for the holidays, see your family, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk politics. Like, what? On the conservative, red-pilled, conservative, patriot, whatever side, we talk all day. We argue with each other. We're happy to talk to you. On the liberal, modern liberal, not classic liberal, not Thomas Jefferson liberal, but the new, modern leftist Antifa, quiet, commie zombie. Just like my friend here, all dressed in black, not a man or a woman, just bothering people, making a big stink, wanting to get their way, right? That's the modern liberal, right? So they're taught to say, I said here, this is why liberals are now taught to say, let's not talk about it, right? You can't argue about, Trump or conservatives or abortion or trans kids or borders or anything. There's just one word to shut you down. You don't like open borders? You're racist. I'm not racist. Every country should close their borders. I hope all the countries, with all the colored people or white people or mix of whoever, I hope they all do it. I hope they're all great places that protect their cultures and economies, and they're great places to live and visit. I'm nothing against them or, no. It's like, no, racist, don't say anything. Fine, we'll open our borders. What about the trans kids thing? Hey, the trans kids, dangerous, you know what I mean? Like, should kids be making the decision to be infertile for the rest of their life, never have kids? One of the great joys in life, right? Should they go through all those associated health risks, mental and physical, right? Are they just attention grabbing because it's on TV, it's in the news, that schools saying, oh, if you're trans, we all have to worry about you, be special. And kids are like, well, I want attention. And it's like, okay, right? Should they be making that? Don't, you're transphobic because some grown-up's mad because little kids don't want to learn how he has sex. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I've been around my whole life. No grown-ups were ever upset that kids didn't want to learn how they had sex. This is bullshit. Don't say anything, phobic. Never mind, forget it. Right? So that's how we all turn to the same thing. That can't talk much, doesn't let anyone talk, doesn't bother talking because we all hear, think, and say and do the same things, and just kind of acts quietly uncomfortably near each other. So, back to this text. So I say this is why liberals are now taught to say, quote, let's not talk about it, because it makes you feel bad. But if your ideas were correct, you wouldn't. Instead, you would calmly debate with anybody and get them to respect your opinions like liberals did when I was a kid, or like I did when I was a liberal. When I was a liberal back in the day, raised in the Toronto Star, I didn't read much. I read the sports section. It's boring garbage a lot of the time. But I've read some stuff, and now I know why. But we didn't have this problem. We didn't say, oh, let's just not talk about it. We're like, screw you, I'm right. Or at least if I'm not objectively right, I can at least discuss how I feel with you, even if you disagree. And if we can both discuss it and respect each other like polite Canadians and not make each other uncomfortable and not be unable to discuss anything with anybody who doesn't 100% agree with me, then we will respect each other, right? So it's not a big deal. So I say here, back to this text. Sorry, but millions know it's true, and while it's causing a lot of problems, many try to solve them by patiently sharing info and trying to help people think for themselves. If it's stupid, laugh. If it's smart, enjoy. If you can't even hear it or you get upset, that's a huge problem, especially for men who should be better than that. Just some food for thought. Feel free to share this with our buddy if you'd like, and he may or may not confirm the gist. Thanks, right? So I get back a text. That was a long text, right? I'm taking myself seriously, taking you seriously. That's exactly how I feel. What does my liberal friend say? Basically stop sermonizing, try to convert other people. I'm like, what? You can't discuss how you feel. You just want to make sure nobody can. That's crazy. That's what this is, right? Because if you could discuss, well, this is my point of view, but you don't want to go on that long with anybody. I get it, but in general, it should be possible for liberals and conservatives, the left and the right, today, to be able to discuss. Not have them say, oh, nope, oh, you're one of those people, nope, don't talk to them, right? And then what about each other? Well, can't disagree with each other. Why even bother talking? Okay, just be quietly uncomfortable near each other, right? So, so I say, in the next text, right? Again, this is what I'm saying. This is the side that can talk, that can respect people talk. They're trying to conserve what works, right? Liberals or conservatives typically try and save what works to make people happy. Liberals push for changes to make people happy. When we're all polite Canadians and we all respect each other, it's great. It's a great conversation. It's not a big deal, right? When you can be nice, ladies and gentlemen, teaching kids to be offline, and when you can discuss, and when you can learn from each other, but when you are taught to not do that, then any garbage you get is garbage you're going to have to eat. And when it comes to a sort of national level, it's garbage all of us have to eat. If you don't let anybody, say anything different, and you have nothing different to think about, right? Especially for men out there. Girls, fine. I can't ask girls to fight. It's gross, right? If they want to, fine, great. I know some good scrappy girls. But you can't ask them. You can't force them. It's gross, right? But men who don't fight are gross. Men who don't fight are this. Men who don't fight are like, I feel sorry for myself. It's like, you idiot. Feel sorry for the girls instead of yourself. You both feel better. Get some shit done, moron. Okay, so I say here, this is also about your happiness with what you learn, and not being able to talk isn't how to get it, right? That's what I say to my liberal friend. So maybe as these unfamiliar thoughts settle and you reflect on them, it'll help. I'm like, well, here, I'm just gonna say how I feel anyway, right? And you can be like, whatever, just bitch out, don't say anything, how dare you, I don't like you, right? You should be like me, not say anything, not be able to do anything. So it's like, no, it's a bad idea. I can show you lots of video, last few years, right? And they want to stop. Their fantasy is to be able to be people who show and get respect. Men's fantasy is, I've seen it with a lot of guys, right? I got a lot of it on video, I've talked about it a lot, whatever, I've interacted with a whole bunch, even though I'm a little bit strange. I try and keep my self-respect as people act sketchy with each other, right? By not getting worked up, bothering people, whatever. So, sorry, never mind. Oh no, I know what's going on. Okay. Anyway, I'll get back to this text. So it says here, as these unfamiliar thoughts settle and you reflect on them, it'll help. Maybe, right? Because it's about your happiness too. Right? I don't want you to be unhappy and weak and bitchy and be unable to communicate